Hello there, I'm Guildmaster Dan, and welcome to the Fourth Wall. So, Christmas is in 3 days, and Christmas happens to be my favorite holiday. So, you know what that means. Christmas episode! Christmas! Alright, so anyway, what could we possibly have to talk about in a Christmas episode of The Fourth Wall? Well, around this time of year, gaming groups who, get together every week tend to have themselves a Christmas party, or at least go to the same Christmas parties. And when you have a bunch of gamers celebrating a Christmas party, it's bound to happen that someone's going to want to run a Christmas game. So today we're going to be talking about how to run your Christmas game. Now, granted, this episode's going to be airing on the 22nd, so there's probably not a lot of time before Christmas that you have time to plan your Christmas game. But the advice that I have for you, you could keep in mind for next year, or there are some people who may not have. They might be running a Christmas game tonight, or if you game with your family, you might be running one on Christmas Day. If that's the case, take some of my advice here and put it to good use, or plan it for next year, or for the rare few of you that have a Christmas party, or even like a Christmas New Year's party between the 2 days. Feel free to use this for then. First and foremost, when you're planning your Christmas game, pick a system that's fun for everybody. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the system that your group normally runs. Just pick something that everybody can have a lot of fun with, or that everyone just really enjoys. This is supposed to be the type of game where, you're really just doing it because you want to have fun with a themed game. So pick something light and fun, or something that everybody enjoys. The two things that pop to the front of my mind, you could make a fantastic paranoia Christmas game. Can you just imagine the friend computer having a state mandated celebration of Christmas because it's an all American holiday that commie mutant traders wouldn't understand, and just having you collect artifacts for the Christmas, or let alone the fact that everything's all different colored and you can't touch the things that aren't your clearance, or even mutants and masterminds. That's another great game that pops to mind, where you could play the Marvel or the DC Heroes Save Christmas. Just whatever's fun, you can run with that. Um, on top of picking your system, you're gonna want to run your game separate from your main game. If you do decide to run in the same system, like if you play Dungeons and Dragons and you want to have a Christmas themed Dungeon and Dragon session at your party, keep it separate from your game. You can reuse the same characters that your players normally use, but keep this non sequitur. You really just want to. You don't want stuff from outside the game to color like just the light fun time that you want to have with this. Feel free to use the characters, or better yet, let people use their like favorite characters from different games and stuff, and kind of like get some prep work out of the way and prep them for the game, and just really have fun with this special Christmas episode or Christmas session at your party. Um, Obviously, you're gonna want to theme it around Christmas and the lore of Christmas. So when you're building your story and building your adventure, you want to include things from Christmas lore. Have it be in a winter wonderland, unless you're playing in Westeros, in which case, bye bye. Anyway, you probably don't want to be running Game of Thrones if you're running a Christmas game, uh, or at least good luck to you if you are. So yeah, winter wonderland. Wizards that travel that fly around delivering toys. Little elven toy makers, or if you really want to get into like the some of the really interesting Christmas lore, look at other cultures. Look at the demon Krampus, or the Yule lads. Um, Lots of different Christmas lore out there from other cultures and their traditions. Look into that stuff because you can find some really cool things to plug into your game. Um, Especially, you can find stuff that aligns with the themes that exist in whatever system it is you're running and run them in that. I mean, with the paranoia stuff, you don't necessarily have to pull like the demon Krampus, but you could play off of the whole consumerist thing that people like to complain about nowadays, and kind of really just run with an exaggerated version of that. Um, have fun with it. Look up some Christmas lore, learn a little something about how other cultures celebrate it, and find some stuff to put into your game, and just have fun with it. Make it nice and make it something that's going to be memorable. Story wise, what sort of adventure or story do you want to tell on your Christmas game? Well, let's see. Like I mentioned before, there's always Save Christmas, or your Christmas stand-in holiday. Uh, town is town is besieged by orcs or some bad guy, and their first instinct is to go stop them. But it really has come down to the only way they could win is by showing the enemy the true spirit of Christmas or Christmas stand-in holiday, because come on. This is a fun one shot. Really get in the spirit of things and make it a schmaltzy Christmas story. Just a nice schmaltzy TV Christmas movie. Um, there's always a nice scavenger hunt or some other festival based competition, such as like a race or a marathon or a series of events. Maybe a town has a festival, and they encourage like outsiders and townsfolk to participate in like eating contests, races, wrestling matches. Have fun with it. Um, or if you're sappy like me and you really want to get the whole Christmas spirit thing in there, you can be a little bit more subtle with it. Um, Here's my idea for a Christmas game that feel free to take and play around with if you like it. Uh, we'll just say it's a Dungeons and Dragons group, and you're in a town and and it's the eve of your Christmas stand-in holiday, whether that's Winter Veil or just the Winter Solstice Festival, whatever it is, your equivalent of Christmas, if not Christmas. Um, on the eve of that holiday, your players find themselves in a town that is just really into it, really wants to celebrate, or just really loves this holiday and celebrates it. All the taverns are packed. Everyone's home from work, celebrating with their family. Everybody is just light and gay and you're sharing the good life. Um, of course, you have vagrants out there who are drinking or taking advantage of the drunk. But point is, this is a town that loves this holiday and wants to celebrate it. And your adventures, maybe you in the early evening, as they're really like, oh man, what should we do tonight? We really should probably do something. After all, it is the holiday, right? Um, they have them come across in a empty street covered in snow, and they find themselves a little crying girl. Now, obviously, it's the holiday of giving and peace and love. We got to see what's wrong with this little girl. We got to help her. So they're going to go up and they're going to see what's wrong. Have the little girl just be distraught and crying, and not really able to answer them at first. But if they ask, are you lost? Have you lost your parents? She'll nod yes, and they can successfully calm her down if they try, and she'll tell them that she lost her parents and she doesn't know where they are. And she'll ask the adventurers for help, and looking for her. And you could take this you can take this and have the little girl, um, you know, point the adventurers in directions and stuff. Like, obviously they could take the little girl and like go looking for her parents. I mean, where would you first look? I don't know, tavern, the shrine, there's probably services going on. Um, they might ask her where she lives, and she might come up with, well, they're not going to be at home. They were out celebrating. She'll come up with something where they're like out celebrating, and I think you're already starting to get the idea of what's going on here. And they go out and they go looking for her parents, and she might tell them what her parents like to do and where they might be, from places that she knows from around town. Uh, I would recommend having her try and steer them away from going to churches, or at least a specific church, uh, because uh, essentially, as the adventurers go around town, they're looking for the parents, maybe ask around for their names and whatnot, and not getting a lot of success, and just getting into a bunch of misadventures. Maybe a barroom brawl, a drunken barroom brawl, or being pulled into parties, or just generally getting into the festivities of throughout the night, maybe learning a little bit about the holiday along the way, having a bard tell a tale or two. You know, and of course, maybe at some point the girl, starts crying again. So, they want to cheer her up before they, finish helping her find her parents. So, they might take her someplace that she likes to go, something like that. And, by the end of the night, it's getting really late, and there just doesn't seem to be any success at all. And whether, they manage to somehow get her to that church that she's been resistant to go to, or if they just, they're debating giving up, the girl breaks down crying again, and she admits to them that she's really sorry that she lied to them. She doesn't have any parents. She's an orphan. She was crying because she was lonely and didn't want to be alone on Christmas or the holiday. So she lied to the adventurers so they'd spend the holiday with her, so she wouldn't have to be alone. And from that point, you can just let your adventurers decide what to do. Whether they're going to dump the girl off, which I highly doubt, especially if they're in the spirit of things, or whether they're going to, celebrate the rest of the night with her, or, take her back to the church where the orphanage is, where they would know her and explain things to them if she doesn't. And just generally have a nice little epilogue party there with the orphans and stuff. And maybe along the way, the one of the adventurers comes up with an idea on how to improvise gifts for everybody. Yeah, Christmas spirit right there, buddy. Feel free to take that and use that however you like. That's just my idea for what I would do for a Christmas game, because I'm really schmaltzy like that. But doing a Christmas game is really about theming it around the holiday and really just enjoying all the schmaltzy fun stuff that, the rest of the month you're too busy, getting all stressed out about buying gifts and all the people who are rushing and getting in your way, and all the family members that it's this is your chance to really just kind of enjoy and like just kind of sink into all that stuff that you're supposed to be buying about Christmas and about how much fun it is. Because guess what? It's there. It's an idea. And once you give into that idea, once you actually subscribe to it, even if it's only for 4 hours or for the length of this party, you know, uh, you can have a lot of fun with it. And I highly encourage you to go all out, no holds bar, have your mistletoe, have your eggnog, have your, Elvis singing Santa Claus Comes to Town in the background. You just go all out and have fun, because Christmas comes once a year, no matter how much companies want to change that. And we really need to enjoy it more for what it really is, and not for what Christmas and all these political groups want to change it to. So have fun in your game, make it as schmaltzy as possible, and just generally have fun. My last bit of advice for you with your Christmas game is let your players take something away from it to their normal game. Whether that is them getting to keep any experience that they earned from said competitions or barroom brawls, or just role pardon me, or just role playing. or maybe they came across a character that they liked, let them encounter them again, maybe with some memory of the non sequitur night that they spent together, or even if they come across some nifty magical artifact, Santa wizard bag of holding. Anyway, let them find let them take something back with them, just so that they can remember, they can just see that, or use that, and just kind of remember the fun time that they had at the party, and maybe they can look forward to next year and what you're going to do then. Heck, if you're really ambitious, from year to year you can always do an ongoing, almost like a living campaign, where they come back for another Christmas adventure and another non sequitur, and they remember what happened last time. Wouldn't that be cool? Well, anyway, I know there's lots of different ways that you can do a Christmas game, and there's lots of different like pieces of lore and cultural traditions that you can pull into there. I know I like the schmaltziness. I like getting into the Christmas spirit and just enjoying what the holiday's supposed to be about. About the peace and the giving and the love and the festivities, and it just, but not everybody might think of Christmas the same way that I do, or maybe you don't celebrate Christmas. That's fine. But, if you had something that you'd like to add, or if you disagreed with something I had to say, maybe you had a different suggestion for what you can do for a Christmas game, please feel free to leave a comment below. I'll be sure to leave a couple of links to help inspire your Christmas game, for either this year, after Christmas, or next year. Uh, Please like, share, and subscribe so we can keep the conversation going. And as always, thank you for watching, and Merry Christmas. Christmas!